Hello, this is Mike Foreman with Game Plan Retirement with another episode of Let's Ask Mike, a series where I answer questions that have come up recently or sometimes from the past in my years as a retirement plan specialist, as well as a retirement planning specialist. Today, what I'd like to talk about is beneficiary designations for 401k plans. If you have a company or you're in human resources, you might want to share this with some of your employees. This is a question that comes up quite often when I do enrollment meetings with companies. And so the question that comes up most often is if someone has a trust, should they name the trust as the beneficiary of their 401k? And generally the answer to that question is no. You're probably better off naming individuals directly as the beneficiary of your 401k, primarily because by definition, a 401k is a trust. There's a trust that's set up for the benefit of the employees of that particular company. And within that trust document, there is the provision for the assets to go to your designated beneficiary if you were to die. There's also a special provision if you're married that your spouse can receive the distribution unless they take it in cash without being taxed. So they can roll it to their own 401k, keep an account in your name until they later change it. All that would not be taxable. And so for that reason, you generally, if you're married, unless it's a kind of extreme circumstance, then you'd probably want your spouse to be your beneficiary. Anyone else would have the opportunity to roll it to an inherited IRA, but based on current laws, they'd have to cash that completely out within a short time frame, 10 years, and pay tax on that money then. And so what most people will do is name their spouse as a beneficiary, primary beneficiary, and their children, if they have them, as contingent beneficiaries. And in fact, because of that tax difference between spouses and non-spouses, there is a provision that if they would have to sign a waiver in order for them not to be your beneficiary, if that's what you wanted, so that nobody gets surprised by this tax consequence. If there are certainly circumstances where it still makes sense to have the trust, the beneficiary, but that's something in general you'd want to talk through with your financial advisor or your attorney or someone like that. And the main thing I wanted to point out was that you wanted to generally have a spouse as your primary beneficiary, and make sure that if that's not what you want, you have that waiver signed, because otherwise it would still go directly to your spouse at the time. Thanks very much for tuning in. I hope you have a great day, and please feel free to reach out with questions for Let's Ask Mike. Thanks. Bye.